Welcome to the Vol Bros. My name is Evan. Typically, I'm joined by my brother Ruston, and he was actually going to join tonight. We are two Vol Bros who are actually bros in real life, and we are presented by the Ooltewah Club. We are very appreciative of the Ooltewah Club and their partnership with us. As I usually mention, we are honored to be the representatives of the University of Tennessee on the Believe Entertainment Network, and we hold that title proudly. And we got quite a big show this evening. Like I said, Ruston, he was supposed to be in the air tonight, flying back uh, to East Tennessee. However, his flight was canceled due to inclement weather in his area. And so he was like, "Hey, I can join because I'm going to be, I can't leave till in the morning." But then the hotel he's staying at, the internet and cable and stuff and the power's flickering there, and he can't join anyway. So we were excited because he was going to get to join, and now he can't. But hopefully that power comes back on and he can join very soon. Glad you're with me. Obviously, the baseballs are playing at Arkansas right now. And we're certainly going to talk about that. I've got it going on my monitor to my bottom right-hand side. I've got the live stream on my monitor on the left side. So I'm set up here, ready to roll. But, it just wouldn't be Knoxville, Tennessee, unless they were giving us something to talk about all the time. And that is certainly the case this evening, because last night news started coming out that Tennessee was considering switching from Nike back to Adidas due to financial reasons and other things like that. We're going to talk about that first, and I would love to have your opinion on it. I posted a question on our message board on our website earlier today. Remember, if you are a honorary fam or watch party fam member of our YouTube channel, you get access to that forum on our website. We would love for you to join us there. We'll talk about that more as the night goes on. Just as a reminder, tomorrow is the last day to join and get a 25% off discount code to our merch store. So if you like that 25% off discount code, you got to join by 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night, because at midnight the carriage turns into a pumpkin. So I'll start with this. This is what I posted on our message board earlier today. I said, okay, this will definitely be a topic of discussion on the show tonight. Let's hear everyone's opinion on the rumors that UT may be leaving Nike to return to Adidas. Do you think it's Danny White leveraging Adidas to get a better deal from Nike? Do you think UT should go back to Adidas? One of the reply on there from Eric said, I hope Tennessee stays with Nike because in my opinion, Nike has better gear than Adidas. So I hope Tennessee, is just trying to leverage more money out of Nike with the threatening to switch back to Adidas, because I would hate for Tennessee Athletics to switch their gear back to Adidas. Totally understand that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to present a very strong case for staying with Nike, and I'm going to try to present a strong case for switching back to Adidas. And hopefully through that, by the end of it, we will come to an somewhat of hopefully a positive understanding of the situation. For Nike, let's start there. Obviously, there is a pedigree with Nike apparel and college athletics right now. I mean, we're talking Alabama, we're talking Ohio State, we're talking Georgia, we're talking, Florida, all these massive programs that are Nike schools. Duke, if we're talking basketball, you got Duke, North Carolina. There's major athletic programs that are Nike schools. There is a certain image that is presented when you walk on the field wearing Nike stuff. For recruits, there is a certain image that is presented. Kind of like, you're in the best of the best with Nike. You're in the top of the line stuff. So obviously that is something to consider. Now, if you don't believe me, I invite you to look at what Braylon Staley's dad, Brian, tweeted today. This article came out saying the University of Tennessee is, um, mulling a new apparel deal with Adidas, and it shows Justin Worley. And you can see the famous Adidas, like, I don't even know what they called that, like markings. I don't know what to call that on their jersey, on the shoulder pad area. And Brian Staley said, "Man, come on, Tennessee, why? Please, pretty please, don't do it." I mean, I don't really know what is better evidence that what families of recruits think than this right here. I understand this is one person. I get that. However, this obviously shows that there is a certain image that is presented with Nike. And I think if we were all honest, we would agree that Nike's stuff just looks better than Adidas. I mean, just look at that uniform. They had all those weird little markings all over the shoulder pads for years. Like, what was that about? I invite you to remember the smoky gray jerseys that never were. Some soccer team in, I think it was Iran, got them that, they started showing up on shelves, and Vol Nation freaked out. Like, surely you're not going to put our football team in these things. And they shipped them overseas, and we never saw them on Shields Watkins Field. So clearly there is a certain vibe, as the young whippersnappers today say. There is a certain vibe that is presented with Nike. I get that. But now let's talk about Adidas. Right now, Adidas's biggest schools are obviously Nebraska. That's a huge contract. Miami, that's a huge contract. I would argue that Arizona State is one of their biggest schools. Arizona State, of the three teams we've mentioned, other than Tennessee, Miami, Nebraska, Arizona State was in the college football playoff. So clearly, Tennessee just tried a double steal, by the way, runners on first and second, one out in the top of the fourth, and Cannon Peebles hit a foul ball. Cannon roped a laser into the left center field gap. His first at bat, unfortunately, it was caught. So anyway, when you think about Adidas, I think Jason Swain said it best. Right now, the deal that we have with Nike, essentially we're being treated as the forgotten stepchild in that arrangement. We get barely over $1 million a year from Nike in cash. That's it. I say that's it, but in today's world, that's it. The current deal with Adidas that Miami has, Miami receives just over $11 million. Or no, it's like right at almost $11 million a year. So more than 10 times what we currently get from Nike. Now, I invite you to consider, somebody made a great comment, I get it, on one of the message boards, and they, this topic was being discussed, and they said, just win. Well, I invite you to consider how you win. To quote Phil Fulmer, it's not about X's and O's, it's about the Jimmies and Joes. In today's world, yeah, Nike obviously has a pedigree with recruits for, as far as fashion goes. However, it's all about the money now. I'll go back to Mr. Staley's comment for those who may have just joined us earlier today. Mr. Staley, Brian Staley, it's Braylon Staley's dad. He said, "Come on, Tennessee, why please, pretty please don't do it," referencing going back to Adidas. Now, I don't know what Braylon's current NIL deal is. However, I would venture to guess that, let's say, I'm just going to throw a number. I don't know what it is. Let's just throw out some numbers. Let's say it's $200,000 a year. I could be wrong. Probably am. I'm just throwing out a number. If we're making 10 times as much with Adidas as we are with Nike, do you think recruits might be like, you know what? I'll wear Adidas if I'm making $400,000 a year instead of $200,000. I can make double and wear this brand name. Yeah, okay, I'm in. That is 100% what would happen. We all know that. We all know that. So if the goal is to just win, baby, and you just win by getting the Jimmies and the Joes, then you need the dough. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. You got to have the money, and we can have 10 times. And there's rumors that it could be even more than that because Adidas has said we would be their flagship school essentially. And so we would be the highest paid Adidas school, which means that we would be making more than 10 times the amount of money that we're making currently with Nike. You know, just last week on this show, we were talking about, and people were bemoaning the fact that we could not pay some of the basketball transfers what they wanted. We couldn't pay them as much as other schools did. This might be how we do that. This might be how we begin to afford those things. So does Nike stuff look better? Yeah, 100%. Sure does. Could we potentially succeed even more under Adidas because we'd have better funding? Yeah, potentially we could. So I hope that Danny White, thoroughly researches this, makes absolutely the best decision possible. I trust him to do as such. He's done a phenomenal job on Rocky Top thus far. However, I do not envy him in the position that he's in right now because this is a major decision. It's a major decision. But that's my take on it. Would I prefer to wear Nike apparel? I sure would. Will we have more money to work with if we go to Adidas and potentially succeed even more and maybe be able to compete NIL-wise with people like Ohio State or get even a little bit closer to competing with people like Ohio State? Yeah, we might be able to. So what's more important in the long run? I think that's a fair assessment. All right, let's see what everybody's saying in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I would love to hear your take on should Tennessee stay with Nike or should they go with Adidas? I would love to hear your opinion. Let's see. Rhonda, well, here's a channel member. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you. She said, good evening. Not sure I can watch this game tonight. So the Vols currently have bases loaded. Manny Marin is at the plate, and he's got a 3-1 count, so a hitter's count. 2 outs, top of the 4th, Tennessee down 2-1. Well, hopefully Manning can, if he hits a base hit, Tennessee takes the lead 3-2. So hopefully he finds a hole somewhere. Had a great hit his first at bat, line drive. Second baseman tried to make an attempt on it. Kudos to second baseman. He leaped and knocked it down, but he couldn't get up high enough. So 3-1 count. Arkansas's pitcher's already up to 60 pitches in the 4th inning. They got somebody warming up in the bullpen. So we'll see what happens. Elijah, welcome. There's a channel member. Good to see you, Elijah. He said Phillips pitching very well so far. Yeah, he got out of a jam a little bit in the 2nd inning there when they threw the guy out at home. Only 2 runs scored instead of 3. Bobby, you're exactly right. Welcome, Bobby. Good to have you. He said, hope I have to put up some runs. Yeah, 100%. Elijah said her hits are finding holes. Finally, just need some timely hitting. Totally agree. Yeah, we had runners on the corners last inning and unfortunately grounded into a double play. So hopefully we can not, ground out in this inning. Hopefully we can find a hole. The pitcher just tried to step off and he's going from the windup with bases loaded, and he stepped off and threw to second behind Levi Clark. Levi dove in. I don't know if they're trying to buy time or what. Oh, man. Okay, so inside corner strike, I use that term lightly. It looked to be off the inside of the plate. Should have been a walk in a base on ball scoring run. There we go. But we'll see. Mississippi Vol, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, good Thursday evening, everybody. Hey, we got an error. Runners were moving on the pitch because it was 3-2. 2 outs, and so runners are moving on the pitch. Manny Marin got jammed, but the ball had some funky spin on it, and the shortstop couldn't handle it. But because the runners are moving on the pitch, we scored 2 runs. Let's see, that's Reese Chapman scored from second on that. So now we have runners on first and second with 2 outs. Tennessee's up 3-2. All righty. Rhonda said, money, 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 and we do need it. But I like Nike merchandise more, but I like winning even more. Rhonda, quote of the night right there. Quote of the night. You just hit the nail on the head. You just hit it right there. That's perfect. People love Nike. I love it too. But I think people want to win even more. Do we want to make it to the college football playoff and get our butts handed to us like we did this year at Ohio State? Or do we want to compete? We compete by paying. Unfortunately, in today's world, we compete by paying players more money. That's how it works. So if we have 10 times as much money on an annual basis from our apparel provider, it's kind of hard to argue that. Bobby said Nike all the way. Mississippi Vol said, I hope we stick with Nike, much better looking gear. I agree with that part of it. It is better looking. Regardless of which direction they go, I'll continue to wear my Nike gear. Don't want anything with Adidas on it. I understand. Let's see here. Elijah said that ball was so far inside, nearly hit him, and he called it a strike. Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Jonathan, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, hello, Evan and chat family. I'm joining late. Tony V shocked me, and I'm sure everyone else when he started Phillips tonight. I think Nike has better equipment, but if Adidas is offering more money, you have to strongly consider it and see if Nike ups their pay or we switch. And that is certainly something that could be happening right now. Danny White could be using this Adidas talk to leverage more money out of Nike. This certainly could be the case. And we'll see if they're willing to ante up and pay. But if they don't, I don't see how you can turn down literally 10 times as much money. I don't see how financially they could do that. Let's see. Rhonda said Candace Parker is also with Adidas. Bobby said make Nike match what Adidas is willing to pay us. I'm sure that is their ideal scenario. If we could have Danny White on the show right now, I'm sure he would agree this is his ideal scenario. Unfortunately, I just don't think Nike's going to do it. And I was thinking about this earlier. I understand why they wouldn't. I hate to say that, but I do. Is Tennessee an everything school? Absolutely. Reigning national champs in baseball, just went to a Elite Eight back-to-back years in basketball. But when it comes to football, Tennessee hasn't won a championship, whether that be a conference championship or a national championship, in over 20 years. People say, well, they went to the college football playoff this year. Yeah, so did Boise State. So did Arizona State. I agree it is a prestigious thing that they got to go. But some schools went too that, are not as big a brand as Tennessee. So I understand why Nike wouldn't match what Adidas is willing to pay. I get it. Elijah was pumped when Manny Marion got the reached on the air there. Tennessee just had a base hit from, I believe it was Gavin Keelan. And so I'm trying to do multiple things at once here. So base hit down the right field line, scored, runner from second. So now we got runners on the corner with 2 outs. New pitcher entering the game. Rebel Juice said Nike dark mode is better, but Adidas is the best business move. Adidas black outline on the power tee was sweet though. Rebel Jim, glad you're with us, man. And you're exactly right. Nike's dark mode uniform is awesome. It is awesome. It's so good. But I agree with you. The better business move is to go to Adidas. Sadly, that's the best move. Dollars and cents wise right now. Elijah said, yeah, but it was Gavin Keelan. Mississippi all said, I agree, Evan. No doubt Nike is better, but you have to look at the business side of it. I agree. Yeah. I don't see how in today's market, I mean, y'all, let's just talk about Rodney Rice. Here's this guy, loved Tennessee, wanted to come to Tennessee. He did. Rick Barnes even told the media that he wanted to come to Tennessee. But another program was offering him more than double what we were willing to pay him. And people are like, we got to start, having more money. Okay, well, here's a way we can have more money. I mean, that's reality of it. Rhonda said it takes a lot to cover all our champions teams. Absolutely. Go Vols bet. She's using that logo or that emoji. I love it. If you're on YouTube right now, you can see that emoji, that custom emoji. That's what you get when you become a channel member. Jonathan said it's kind of odd if we switch from Nike after we got new uniforms in baseball this year. But like everyone else has said, the money that Adidas is reportedly offering is hard to turn down. Yeah, 100%. I mean, my goodness, if they offer us $11 million a year, we just increased our NIL budget essentially by $10 million a year. I mean, let's just talk football for a second. Last year, if we were at 12 to 14, depending on who you talk to, now we're at 22 to 24. That's competing with Ohio State now. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. Hey, look here. All right. Welcome, Ruston. Good to have you with us. So
I'm just happy to be alive.
So Ruston, like I said earlier, his flight was canceled this evening due to weather. His internet may go out at any moment due to weather, but he is with us right now.
I think the storms, all the power came back on and everything's working. So I think the storms have passed, but who knows?
So were you able to hear any of my take on, well, I just said, Ruston, good to see you here, brother. Absolutely. Were you able to hear any of my take on the Tennessee Adidas thing?
No, I literally just got internet a minute and a half ago.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I'm going to, that actually makes me happy because I want to hear your take on it and then I'll recap my take on it. So what do you think? Should Tennessee switch back to Adidas or stick with Nike?
So I'm not a big brand person. I don't really care. I actually had, when I was in college, we had an Adidas contract 1 year. They're definitely, some people love them, some people hate them. My thing is Adidas has made it very clear that we're going to be their number one priority of all schools, which means, you're not going to, Phil Knight's never going to show up and go, hey, I want to give you all more money than Ohio State and Oregon. That's not going to happen. So if Adidas, the rumor I've heard is Adidas offered double what Nike did. If that's true, in my mind, that's a no-brainer. Everybody complains about the talent fees and, all the extra expenses that are going up because of NIL. If Adidas is willing to give us double what Nike is, NIL problems just got solved. So, I don't care what they look like so long as we get the best players. That's all that matters to me.
So that's essentially what I said. I do care what they look like, though. I don't want to have those little weird lines on the shoulder pad area that Adidas gave us for like 4 years straight. But so what I said was, obviously you can make a case for sticking with Nike because they look better. Braylon Staley's dad tweeted out, please don't switch to Adidas essentially earlier today. He said, no, Tennessee, don't do it. Please, pretty please don't do it. And I said, but if Braylon gets offered twice as much NIL money, I think they'd probably be okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, parents can make those statements now, but a year from now, if after a big year, they'll be the exact same ones pulling the Dylan Sampson, Jalen Wright, trying to leverage for more money. And, if they truly are offering double what Nike offered,
Well, I've heard it's more than double.
I don't know how you turn that down.
So today, Jason Swain did a great job breaking down the numbers, and he pulled up the contract with Adidas that Miami has right now, and he pulled up the contract we have with Nike right now. And essentially, right now, we're talking just cash money from the brand. Right now, Nike sends Tennessee just over $1 million a year in cash. The deal that Adidas currently has with Miami, they send them almost right at $11 million a year in cash. Over 10 million, just under $11 million. So if it's, and they're saying they want to pay us more than Miami. So if it's 10 times the amount, if it's literally $10 million more a year, I don't know how you turn it down. Because, we were talking on here a couple months ago, Tennessee was, depending on who you talk about or who you talk to, between 12 to $14 million of NIL this year. And Ohio State was at 24 million. Well, if you take this 10 million, now you're at the same level as Ohio State. And to quote Phil Fulmer, it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmies and Joes. Somebody earlier online said, just win, baby. Who cares about this? Just win. All right, well, here's how you win. You get the best players. In today's world, you get the best players by paying them the most. So if this deal with Adidas gets you literally $10 million more a year to play with, it's hard to turn that down. It's just hard to turn it down. So it looks like we got a hit by pitch in the Tennessee-Arkansas game. Looks like we'll probably have runner on first, one out. Marcus Phillips still on the mound at 61 pitches. What were you going to say, Ruston?
I mean, for the people I understand basketball-wise, Adidas does some funky things. Although Louisville has two really good-looking uniforms. From a baseball perspective, Adidas has a lot of really good-looking uniforms out there. I mean, you look at Arizona State, Mississippi State, Kansas, Nebraska, Miami. Miami has a cream uniform that's absolutely gorgeous. So from a baseball and softball perspective, I think people would actually be very happy with what they offer there. From a football perspective, it would be interesting to see what they would come up with. Basketball is always a crapshoot. Rick Barnes is such a traditionalist, though. I don't think he would let them do anything funky.
Yeah, I don't think the basketball uniforms would change at all.
Maybe not.
So funny moment here in the Tennessee baseball game that just happened. Marcus Phillips is throwing the ball so hard. Dude for Arkansas just tried to sack bunt. The ball bounced off it was a foul ball, bounced off the bat, went over the Tennessee dugout and hit the netting behind their dugout. He wasn't swinging. He just held the bat out. And the ball is coming in to the plate so hard that it bounced off the bat over the Tennessee dugout. I've never seen that before, ever. That's amazing.
From a college football uniform perspective, Kansas has some gorgeous uniforms. It'd be interesting to see what they would do for Tennessee. Miami's got some good-looking uniforms. I think, again, it's more about the total package, but if the money is what they say it is, I don't know how you turn it down.
Yep, I agree. Rebel Juice said, was Tennessee with Adidas in 98? I don't remember for sure. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Oh, okay. We might have
see a replay of that.
Yeah. All right. So if you're watching the Tennessee-Arkansas game right now, Cannon Peebles just threw behind the runner at first base. It was very close to being out.
Yeah,
Andrew Fisher didn't immediately turn around.
Yeah, they're not even challenging it. So apparently he missed the tag.
Man, that was close, though. Let's see. Elijah said, I do think there needs to be a separation on the playoffs with at-large and auto bids. I heard you say something about how Boise State and Arizona State made it, but they were auto bids, not an at-large like Tennessee. Yeah, that's a fair point. Absolutely. Rustin, just so you know, what I was saying was, why isn't Nike willing to match what Adidas is proposing? And Bobby said, I just don't see Nike losing UT too much popularity in yearly sales. I mean, I would agree, man. You'd think they'd pay up, but they're not. That's the problem. I mean, I totally agree with you. And the reason I gave was because, yes, Tennessee, obviously reigning national champs in baseball, back-to-back Elite Eight appearances in men's basketball. But when you think about football, they have not won a championship or even competed for a national championship, but they haven't won a national or conference championship in over 20 years. And so you look at the other schools, Georgia, the ones that they're actually paying money to, Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama. I mean, those schools, they're competing for championships, at least conference championships. And we haven't even done that. So, like, I understand why they're not willing to ante up yet. I get it.
Mississippi Ball just had the best comment of all.
He said, yes, we went with Adidas in 1997 through 2014. We were with Sports Bell prior to that.
We need to bring back Sports Bell.
There you go, buddy. Actually, there would probably be a ton of people who are cool with that.
Oh, yeah.
There would probably be a bunch of folks that would be all about that. Rhonda said, we got to do something to compete with oil money. You're exactly right. I mean, Texas is out here racking it in. Like, we got to do something. Mississippi all said, regardless if you're an Adidas or Nike person, you can go hit that like and subscribe button. Hey, I think that's a fantastic idea. He said, text a buddy while you're at it. Welcome aboard, Russ. Jonathan said, hello, Rustin. Glad you could join. Jonathan said, Rustin, I wonder what your thoughts are on Phillips starting tonight.
I mean, it wasn't anything other than Liam Doyle was on short rest, so they wanted to get him at his typical. Pitchers are creatures of habit. They don't like changes in schedules, so they wanted to get him back on his typical days of rest and typical sequence leading up to the game. Marcus Phillips got an extra day because of the way last weekend went. So he's on his normal routine. If we can hold on here, it's puts us in a heck of a scenario for tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Rhonda said, if Nike's just paying us $1 million a year, that's not even enough for a quarterback. You're exactly right, Rhonda. You're exactly right. Thank you for saying that. Fantastic point. Steve, hey, buddy. Good to see you, Steve. Channel member, Steve. He said, I don't care if they wear orange garbage bags if they win. Hey, that's right. Just win, baby. And you just win by getting the Jimmies and Joes. And so unfortunately, we got to find a way to make as much money as we possibly can so that we can get the best players we possibly can. Rhonda said a great point here. She said, Jason Swain today was talking about they can make it where they have creative control over design. And I'm sure they will. I'm sure that will be a big part of it. And I mean, that's what you got to do in today's world. Like, you got to control what it looks like for sure.
Coach Barnes needs to bring back the old Allen Iversons for basketball. Go
like
retro.
Really long shorts?
No, shoes. The old AIs.
Oh. I just had images in my head of Allen Iverson in 76ers, jerseys with shorts down to almost his ankles. That's the way we rolled back in the early 2000s. Rhonda said Vol Nation has bought a lot of Nike gear. Yes, we have. We got a lot of Adidas stuff probably still in our closets too. Like I've still got the 2012, 2011, I think, and it was either 13 or 14 coaches shirts, sideline shirts, polos. So I still got those ready to rock and roll. Real estate investor, welcome. Good to have you. He said the players don't want to wear Adidas. So I would agree with you. They probably don't. However, the players do want to have more money.
Yeah.
And so I
they'll
think
wear whatever we tell them to if they get paid more.
Yep. Like I said, I think if you tell a player, hey, unfortunately you're going to wear Adidas for the next few years, but we're getting $10 million more a year from Adidas, so you're also going to get paid instead of $200,000 this year. You're going to get paid $400,000 this year.
Yeah.
They'd be like, okay, where's my Adidas stuff? Because that's all they care about is money.
You could tell them y'all are going to be the newest member of the New Balance community. You're going to wear Granddaddy's orthotic shoes, and they'd be like, as long as I get paid, that's fine.
Good play by Kevin Keelan there. Slow roller up the middle. Made a good play. Jonathan's right. Dean mishandled the exchange from
No. That was 100% Gavin Keelan's fault. Dean mismanaged the transfer, but he mismanaged the transfer because the ball was on the wrong side of the bag. Gavin Keelan dropped down and threw it to him sidearm. Anytime you do that, the ball's going to tail to the right. He should have stayed on top and thrown a dart at him, because the second baseman doesn't want the ball on the left side of the bag when he's making that turn. He's expecting it on the right side so he can catch, tag, and get out of the way so he doesn't get slid into. So Gavin Keelan led him to the wrong side of the bag, and that's what caused the mistake in the transfer. That was 100% Gavin Keelan's fault, not Dean Curley.
Rhonda said, what about Under Armour? So Under Armour does have a few big schools. I believe Arizona
Under Armour's having massive financial issues. Under Armour may not exist in 5 years.
Yep. Notre Dame is an Under Armour school. But I've heard the same thing, that they're struggling financially right now. Mississippi Vol said, regardless of my feelings on the subject, winning and getting the best players is of the utmost importance. I agree with you. I totally agree. I'd much rather have Nike stuff to wear. But if I can wear an Adidas shirt and be in the college football playoff championship game, then I'm cool wearing that Adidas shirt while we do it. If I can wear an Adidas shirt and celebrate a Final Four, then I'm happy to do that. So that's the bottom line. It's all comes down to money. Go ahead, Russ.
The one nice thing, Adidas clothes is a little more forgiving than Nike. So for those of us who aren't working out every day, Adidas is a much better fit.
I 100% agree with that. 100% agree. The T-shirts especially. Now, This polo I'm wearing right now, this is a sweet polo. This is actually a Nike polo. Oak and Twine hooked us up with these. You can see the Nike swoosh on the sleeve there. Shout out Oak and Twine. Go check out the volbros.com/shop and get you some good looking stuff. Oak and Twine will be happy to prepare it for you and send it to you. Rhonda said, Vols will make Adidas look cool. Absolutely, Rhonda. I totally agree.
Coaches have to be real careful when they're ordering their team gear. They have to make sure that, it's fine for the kids, but the coaches, if it says athletic fit or anything like that, coaches can't order that stuff like that. You're destined to look awful.
Well, while we got a moment here, my internet may be lagging. I'm not sure. While we have a moment here, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow, I mentioned this earlier, tomorrow, I'm going to show this on the screen, is the last day to join our channel and get a 25% off discount code to our merch store. If you join our channel, you get membership badges. And you know what? Today may be the day that they switched over for some folks. Let's see. I'm going to pull up this on our YouTube studio and see what we got going here.
Dalton Bargo is killing the ball.
3 more days. So let's see here. Nino Likey. Let's see. Audrey and Tennessee Junior. and James and Dester and Mr. Osborne. Let's see. Nolan, Matt, and Elijah. All of them joined 28 days ago. And so all of them are about to move up to this badge, the Summit Blue badge. And so the Summit Blue badge is for 2 months, or excuse me, 1 month in. And then at 2 months, you get the orange badge. And then at 4 months or 6 months, you get the dark mode. And then at a year, Summit Blue and Tennessee Orange. And then the checkerboard at 2 years. You also get these emojis. And so we're looking forward to getting those, looking forward to people getting those. But remember, if you join as an honorary fan member, you also get access to our message board on our website. You also get early access and behind the scenes content to stuff. If you're a Watch Party fan member, then you get 15% off discount forever. As long as for the whole time that you're a Watch Party fan member on our merchandise on our website. You also get access to watch parties. Our first one will be for baseball here in just a couple of weeks. You also get members only live streams where you can join us on the screen. The first one of those is going to be this Sunday night at 8:00, actually. And so at each of those watch parties, we're going to give away a free merchandise item from our store. So a lot of fun. I hope you join that. But no matter what level you join at, if you join by tomorrow, you get 25% off one-time discount code on our website. So tomorrow is the last day for that. Let's see. Elijah said another smash ball right to someone. Shocker. Mississippi Vol said 3 things that always tell the truth. Small children, drunk, and athletic fit shirts. I like that. That's pretty good. Robert said, vote Ruston apparel advisor for Tennessee. Stay away from the athletic fit shirts.
Or in Nike's case, anything that says anything along the lines of slim fit, athletic fit. There's another phrase they have, and it's for the hyper tight stuff. And on the models, it looks great. And then you get it, and it's like, what is this? What is it called?
They have performance apparel. That might be it.
It might be performance gear. But even like some kids, like even they, when you get that stuff, they're like, I can't wear this.
Elijah said that ball was at least 100 miles per hour off the bat.
Yeah, he crushed it. Left fielder didn't move an inch. I mean, right fielder.
So for those who may not be watching right now, there's a runner on first base with 2 outs. Reese Chapman's at the plate with a 1-1 count. Tennessee's up 4-2 in the top of the 5th.
It'll be interesting to see. This is Arkansas's best reliever. It'll be interesting to see how long they go with him. If he throws more than 40 pitches, he's done for the weekend. If he stays under 40, they'll probably bring him back for an inning or so on Sunday. But if we can make him prolong tonight, that really hurts their bullpen for the rest of the weekend.
It'll be interesting to see if Phillips comes back out. I'm guessing he's going to come back out for this inning, but this may be his last inning.
That was questionable. I'd like to see TrackMan on that one.
I think we
look like a good frame by the catcher.
See, I just now saw that pitch that you're talking about. The one that struck out.
Strike 3 on Reese Chapman.
It was definitely borderline, that's for sure. Will, welcome, buddy. Good to see you, Will. We're watching some Vols play baseball right now. Elijah said this ump loves that part of the plate, called that multiple times against us, and we're not getting it. Yeah, so that's the same exact strike that was called earlier. Was it Dean Curley that was up when that happened? I can't remember. Somebody earlier. That's exactly what happened. Will, they are currently playing on ESPN2. And it's them in Arkansas. Tennessee's up 4-2 going into the bottom of the fifth. Let's see here. I'm expecting Marcus Phillips to come back out to the mound this inning. I don't know if he'll be back out on the mound after this inning because he's up over 70 pitches now. They'll probably get him up. If he throws 10 to 15 pitches this inning, he'll come back out. I don't know if they bring him back out after he crosses 80.
In this scenario, this is probably the time of the game when Tony will start playing analytics. If he gets 2 or 3 lefties in a row, we'll probably see Dylan Loy.
Yeah, so he's already up over 73 pitches. This is probably his last inning. Wow, that was a beautiful pitch to start off with. 94 at the knees and low outside. That's what I'm talking about.
Little cutter. I wish he would use that cutter more. That thing's got some real nice late movement. There's a slider.
Back to back.
Oh, no, there's another cutter.
Jonathan said, if we can win this game tonight, I feel really good about winning the series and possibly sweeping, but for sure winning the series. Yeah. I agree. Because, you got to feel confident with Liam Doyle on the mound tomorrow. You got to feel confident about that.
I thought it was interesting that Tony went ahead and named Tegan Coons the Sunday starter early in the week.
Well, Saturday this week.
Or Saturday, yeah.
These Thursday through Saturday series throw me off. Oh, that was a wicked pitch. Nice play by Keelan.
Nice
as well.
Exchange.
Will, we're glad you're watching it with us, buddy. So Tennessee gets the leadoff hitter to start the bottom of the fifth. Gavin Keelan, nice play up the middle.
Okay, people don't realize how hard what he just did is. That glove to hand transfer and throw on one step, going the wrong direction. Like there aren't many people in America that can do what he just did.
Rhonda just asked a really good question. She said, when we get to tournament play or postseason, where do they get the umpires? Do we get different ones? So the SEC tournament will be SEC umpires. Now, once we get to regional play, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if they take a crew from another conference or what they do. Or if they piece together a crew from multiple conferences. I don't know. It's a good question. I think Rustin's looking it up for you. Elijah said throwing across the body too, very difficult play. Absolutely. Unfortunately, Phillips is down 3-0 to the next hitter. I mean, I would assume he's probably taking this pitch. Then we'll see what happens when it's 3-1. Yep, taken all the way. So now it's 3-1. Rhonda said umpires have been very questionable this year. Agreed. I took a screenshot earlier. Jason Swain, 3-1 bunt. And he bunt for a hit. Beautiful bunt. Earlier, Jason Swain quote tweeted a post from On3 Sports. On3 was, Will said that was a nice bunt. Yeah, I totally agree. That was beautiful. The way that dude runs is funny. He kind of looked like Barry Goldberg from the television show The Goldbergs when he ran there. The way he was running down the first base line. But Jason Swain quote tweeted on 3 Sports. They were posting a quote from Kirby Smart on NIL. And I think this is a great quote from Kirby. He said, I just want to be able to have a freshman come in and not make more than a senior. And I'd like for other sports to be able to still survive. You know, we're on the brink of probably 1 to 2 years away from a lot of schools cutting sports. And he's right. Like, he's exactly right. I mean, that talk's been going around on the Twitter a whole lot the last couple of days. Some person, I can't even believe, surely they had to have been kidding when they said this. Jonathan said that guy on first. He goes, I don't think that guy's going to steal a base. Yeah, I agree with you, buddy. I can't believe what I read the other day. Somebody was talking about how Tennessee's going to have to make some hard decisions. Do they funnel more money into football, that kind of thing? And some dude got on there and said, they can dissolve basketball and baseball as far as I'm concerned. All I care about is football. I'm like, that's the dumbest comment I've ever heard. I mean, that may be the dumbest take I've ever heard on Twitter. And that's saying a lot. Like, there's a lot of dumb folks who say some stuff that they shouldn't say at times. And for some reason, that guy said, I don't care if they dissolve baseball and basketball. All I care about is football. So the sport where we've most recently won a national championship and the other sport where they've been to back-to-back Elite Eights, he's saying, just get rid of those. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have called the guy dumb, but that was pretty dumb. I'll be honest with you. Like, I could not believe that somebody would put that in writing. I couldn't believe it.
So baseball umpires for the regionals, and it's kind of unique. They don't do this in any other sport. There's a national evaluator for umpires, and I knew umpires in baseball, college baseball, they get evaluated on every game. Somebody watches the replays of every game, and they get a grade on every game, and they keep those scores. Dadgummit.
Is Dalton Barr going left?
Yep.
Or is that Levi Clark out there?
No, it's Bargo. He misplayed it off the wall. But it's a terrible pitch by Marcus Phillips. He hung a slider. So anyway, they evaluate all the umpires nationally, and then they extend. So like, you're not graded on your crew, you're graded individually, and they keep a running tabulation for the year. And then the umpires with the highest overall grades for the season get an invitation to be a postseason umpire. And they don't keep them in their crews. They mix them up, and they try for regionals just for travel expenses. They try to keep them close to their homes. But, it's possible for like a Knoxville regional, we might have an umpire from the SEC, the ACC, the Ohio Valley, and the Sun Belt all on the same crew.
So they do piece together crews from
and it's not right. It's not, but like during the regular season, like these crews, they stay together all season. During the postseason, they just get put together with whoever.
I bleed orange. Welcome. He said, hey guys, joining late, had to drive from Oldwater, Cleveland from work. I'm glad to have you with us. He said, what's Arkansas score? So it's currently 4-3. Arkansas just scored on a runner from first, scored on a hit down the third baseline. Tennessee's going to the bullpen.
Dylan Loy.
Yep. Dylan Loy's coming in now with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th and a runner on second. Let's see. Jonathan said that was a well-placed hit. Yeah, it sure was. You're exactly right. Bobby said basketball and baseball teams deserve the increase in NIL money because they win. Amen, brother. Totally agree. They deserve to have some of that money because they actually win. I Bleed Orange said, if we sweep Arkansas, can we host a super regional? That's a good question. Unfortunately, we just can't. We're too far down in the rankings. Honestly, and I'm being totally upfront here. we have to probably at least win this series to be guaranteed to host a regional. Maybe sweep the series, but we have to at least just win the series. And even then, we're going to be like right on the bubble, like 15 or 16, maybe 17th seed. If we're 17th, we don't host. So hopefully, Ruston and I, we predicted it last week. We think we're going to be the 15 seed hosting a regional. That way, and Southern Miss would then be the 2 seed in our regional. So there's a storyline for the NCAA. And then if we win that, then we would have to go to Florida State for the super regional, which there's another storyline from the World Series last year. Ricky, hey buddy, good to have you. Look at that, we got Ricky with honorary bro Ricky Allison joining us right now. He said we've thrown so many bad 2-strike pitches last month.
Yeah,
agreed.
Now there is a scenario, and we don't need to get ahead of ourselves, but right now, college baseball doesn't really pay attention to the overall rankings. They choose the SEC or the NCAA tournament based on strength of schedule, RPI, and record versus the top 25. Right now, we're 11-8 versus the top 25. If we were to sweep Arkansas, that makes us 14-8. And then if we were to win the SEC tournament, that would make us 17-8 against the top 25 with one of the best strength of schedules and RPIs in the entire country. In that scenario, yes, I could see us hosting a super regional. But all of that would have to happen.
Let's see here. John said, I believe we would have to have a strong showing in the SEC tournament as well to host a super regional. Yeah, I totally agree. We have to win it. Just like I agree with Ruston. The only chance we would have is if we won the SEC tournament and we swept Arkansas. And even then, it may not happen. Like we may not, because right now, Tennessee is on the outside looking in. Right now, Tennessee is ranked 17th in the country.
Okay, now that's infuriating. That ball call right there was the exact pitch he rung up one of our guys on top of the inning.
Yep. Reese Chapman got rung up on that exact pitch. That was the exact same pitch. So back-to-back pitches, the ball hit the exact same spot. First time it was a ball, second time it was a strike. Rhonda said, so if they piece together umpires based on how they've done, she said, then you're saying that the ones we have seen already this season, we will not be in the postseason. Probably so. That's accurate. Yeah. Especially that home plate umpire from game 2 from a weekend or two ago when balls were in the other batter's box and he was calling them strikes. Hey, Dylan Lloyd comes in.
The
full count.
There's some good ones in the conference. There's a lot of bad ones too, but there's some good ones. The guy calling second base right now, which means that on he'll be behind the plate on Saturday. He's one of the best in the entire country. He's the crew chief on this crew, and he's I can't think of his name, but he's easily one of the best umpires in the entire country.
Dylan Loy strikes out the hitter, so now there's 2 outs, runners on second base, bottom of the 5th inning. Tennessee still has a 4-3 lead. Let's see. Abilene Orange said, we can beat anyone. We should have beat LSU and they're number 1. Yeah, I totally agree, man. 100% agree. Yes. Ricky said,
oh, no, don't do this.
So Tony Vitale has made a trip back to the mound. He's taken Dylan Loy out of the game.
I do not understand this decision at all.
Dylan was throwing the ball very well. Good news is he only threw like 8 pitches, so he will be available the rest of the weekend. Not totally sure why they're taking him out because I mean, he's a guy that you can rely on. I'm not totally
They're
sure why
they're
we're doing
just
that.
they're just playing analytics. The next guy's right-handed, so they're bringing in AJ Russell.
Let's see. Ricky said time for the robot umps. Yeah, I mean that's coming, man. It's coming. Like, there's, and it'll probably be here before we know it. Actually, I believe Orange said, "How does someone get into being a college baseball umpire? Are they required to take a vision test?"
It's actually really hard. I looked into it a long time ago because I considered doing it. And the investment, the not so much the financial investment, but the time investment and the trainings you have to go to be selected to be a college umpire, it's pretty extensive.
Jonathan said, "If we win the SEC tournament, we will for sure host a super regional just because of the strength of the SEC." Yeah, but that means that between now, so from today until Sunday, the 25th, is that? Yeah, the 25th. So what is that? 10 days from now. So in the next 10 days, we would have to jump 9 spots in the rankings. That's a big jump. And so that's, have crazier things happen for sure. Is it a guarantee? Definitely not.
Not
Elijah said,
necessarily in the rankings. I think they're going to seed this in spite of the rankings. I don't think the rankings are going to be taken into account.
Elijah said he Burns our best reliever for one batter in a 1-run game. That's fair question. Rhonda said analytics strikes again. Jonathan said, why did Tony take Loy out of the game? I hate when we do that. It makes no sense to me. Yeah, he's just trying to get
playing,
it right.
Yeah, he's just playing the odds.
He's trying to get a right-handed hitter or pitcher against a right-handed hitter so that a breaking ball breaks away from the hitter. But at some point, you got to say, this dude's got it, man. Like, he's throwing strikes. He's keeping hitters off balance. Let's run with him for a little bit. Wow, there's some folks dancing in the stands there at the game. Alcoholic beverages have not been consumed by those folks, despite what he's holding in his hand right now. That dude just got his 15 seconds of fame on ESPN2 right there. So now we have a righty matchup.
I mean, this better be a first pitch curveball.
Nope.
Oof.
Thankfully, he didn't swing.
They're flirting with danger. I mean, you've got an open base. Everything about this makes no sense. Like, you've got a power hitter at the plate. You've got an open base. Leave your junk baller out there. Throw the kid nothing but curveballs. See if he pops one up to end the inning. And if not, just give him first base anyway and get the force. Like that. Instead, you bring in a power arm where if he runs into a fastball, we're going to be down 5-4.
Ricky said he did last series. I wonder if they're concerned about his pitch numbers on the season. Are you talking about for Dylan Loy, Ricky? Because they need to be letting. I don't know why they hadn't let Dylan go out there more than they have, but he needs time. He needs time on the mound. Rhonda said, "Go, Ruston, go. Do it, please." She wants you to become an umpire. Elijah said, even though it's hard to get into it, most of them are still not good at their jobs. Let's see. Abilene Orange said, is this all Tony's decision to pull pitchers, or does staff have a say in it? That's a good question.
No, he and Frank, they both, I mean, they've got analytics on analytics and those binders they're looking at in the dugout. So my guess is it probably said something like, this kid has a real high batting average against lefties. Maybe he's struggled recently to hit power fastball, but sometimes you got to quit looking at the analytics and just go with your gut.
Ricky said, Kirby Cannell's over there, the one calling who's pitching and who's not.
Got him.
Yeah, so interesting there. AJ Russell got away with a changeup that didn't move and floated in the zone at 85, the pitch before that. And then that pitch right there, exact same spot, fastball 97. So same exact pitch location for the hitter. One was at 85, and you follow it up with one at 97 up and in. There's no way that dude's catching up to that.
Yeah.
Elijah said, at least AJ got the strikeout. If it works, I'll look good. Tony. Yep, for sure. For sure. I like Ricky's idea. It's Kirby over there calling who's on the mound, who's not. Jonathan said, Dylan Loy's our best reliever. He should have left him in a little while. Maybe Loy will be able to pitch the rest of the weekend. For sure. Yeah, and he said, good strikeout for AJ Russell, for sure. Dylan Loy, after that, he only threw like 8 pitches. So he'll be available tomorrow. He'll be available Saturday. He can throw a whole lot more. I believe Orange said I have Texas and Tennessee in the National Championship Series in Omaha.
Probably should wait and see brackets before you come up with that.
Yeah, they may end up seated on the same side of the bracket, but I mean, that'd be cool. I'm sure Greg Sankey would love that.
The entire conference would love that. We all get to split royalty checks.
Yep. And yet another consecutive, national championship for the SEC. Be like, I can't remember how long, 4th or 5th in a row, something like that. Will said, prerequisite of being an ump, taking a fastball directly to the mask. No, thank you. LOL.
Did I tell you all about the umpire last Saturday, the comment he made to me?
No.
Okay. I didn't think I did. So in all the years that I've coached baseball, I've never had an umpire say what one did last Saturday. Through the first 3 innings, he asked me the same question after every inning. And walking behind him in the 4th inning, he looks at me and asks it again. So 4 innings in a row, same question. I looked at him and I said, are you all right? And he went, why do you ask? And I said, because that's the 4th time you've asked me that question. And he kind of looked embarrassed and he goes, I'm sorry, I'm concussed. I said, what? He said, yeah, I took one off the mask this morning and I haven't felt right ever since. Okay.
Probably shouldn't be out there. Just saying. Probably shouldn't be out there. Let's see here. Mina Laggy said, evening Vol Bros and chat fam. Hey, good to see you, Mina Laggy. Will said, see, no thank you. LOL. Let's see. Rhonda said, guys, I can't deal with Texas's coach. Robert said, did Texas really drop out of the conference softball tournament? I don't know. That's a good question. I know that there was a delay and they had to postpone one of the games from rain, and then there was a question about where they're going to be able to play it. Maybe that it was like going to be the championship game was supposed to be on one day and it was postponed to the next. I don't know. That's a good question. Ricky said, I can't deal with Cannon Peebles. Well, so Cannon had one of the hardest hit balls of the night so far in the 2nd inning. He killed the ball to left center field. Unfortunately, left fielder only had to take about 2 or 3 steps to his left, and he caught it because he hit it so hard.
I didn't understand that question about Texas. The entire tournament got rained out. They had to name Texas A&M and Oklahoma co-champions because they never finished the tournament.
Well, I knew that it had gotten postponed today, and I never heard what happened after that. So there you go.
Yeah, they canceled the rest of the tournament and named Oklahoma and A&M co-champs.
Jonathan said, do y'all think Loy will be a starter next year? I think he'd be a good starter. I thought he'd be a starter this year. I was surprised when he wasn't. So, yeah, I hope he is because he's a fantastic pitcher. I believe Orange said, do you think there's a huge difference in pay of an umpire in college and major league? Yes.
Significantly. So starting pay for a major league umpire, I actually saw your question, so I looked it up to get the exact numbers. Starting pay for a major league umpire is $150,000 a year. Once they've been doing it for a certain number of years, they get moved into another echelon, and their pay goes up to $350,000 a year. And the highest paid crew chiefs in Major League Baseball make $550,000 a year.
That's nice.
College umpires get paid by the game. Contract hire.
That's nice. Carl said, he said, good to have you, Carl. He said, hard to beat good old fashioned common sense baseball concerning taking Loy out. Great show. I appreciate that. Levi Clark with a hard hit ball over the right, into right
Second
center
base.
field over the second baseman's head. So Tennessee has a runner on first with one out in the top of the sixth. Manny Marin should be coming to the plate next. Let's see. John said, I know Texas A&M and Oklahoma was declared co-champs because they didn't play the championship game. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I knew that there was rain involved in there somehow. Rhonda said, where do you think Liam Doyle will be drafted? First round.
He's going to be in the first 5 picks. A lot of it will depend on, the Major League Baseball draft's a weird animal. You never know what the teams feel they need. You never know where they are as far as their finances. Most likely the number 1 overall pick is going to be a high school shortstop, but you never know. There may be somebody who says, you know what, we need immediate help at the major league level, and we can get somebody dirt cheap if we draft them first, rather than sign a free agent already in the pros. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. There's another one.
I thought that had potential to get out of the park when he came off the bat.
He hit it too hard. There was too much top spin. It just died.
Yeah, Elijah said another hard hit ball right to someone. Yeah,
Yep.
Gavin Keelan just had a really strong hit. Unfortunately, it's right at the right fielder. Let's see. I believe Orange said, Ruston, you should have been an MLB umpire.
Well, now that I know that the most experienced crew chiefs make $550 a year, once my kids graduate high school, I may actually consider ump school, because that's insane. $500,000 to umpire baseball.
Ricky said Ethan Holiday, number 1.
Yeah, it's possible.
Which
is the high school shortstop I mentioned.
I Bleed Orange said Rustin could have been a sports center and broadcaster. He knows his stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Rhonda said, does Phillips stay or go? He stays. He's staying.
It's like right now, the Major League Baseball mock draft has Liam Doyle going 3rd overall to the Mariners.
Yeah, I mean, a left-handed pitcher who throws 97, 98 consistently and has excellent off-speed stuff. Yeah, that dude's going high.
3 of the top 5 picks are left-handed pitchers, according to Major League Baseball's mock draft.
Will said, Rustin better hurry up before the robots take over. Yep, that's exactly right.
The robots won't be calling the field.
I'll tell you what, we're going to stay live through the top half of this inning while we watch Tennessee hit. Or, I mean, the bottom half of the inning while we watch Tennessee and A.J. Russell pitch, and then we'll wrap it up after that. Jonathan said, in my not biased opinion at all, I think Liam Doyle should be the number 1 pick.
He talent-wise, he probably should be. The problem is the Nationals have the number 1 pick, and they don't need, they're thinking about their shortstop of the future. They're not looking for a starting pitcher. But you never know. Stuff happens. Like, it's the Major League Baseball draft is the most unpredictable thing there is. Like, people do some weird stuff.
AJ Russell's got a little bit extra juice in him tonight. I hadn't seen him throw this hard yet this season. Like he took something off of that one just to make sure it was a strike. And it was 93. He's pumping
But
in there
even that,
96, 97 on a consistent
yeah,
basis.
even that when he threw at 93, it was a heavy ball. Like he's throwing with some late life, and it's what we would call a heavy ball. Like you feel like it's getting on you harder and quicker than it actually is.
I Bleed Orange just became our favorite person who watches our show. He said, I'm guessing Evan is 29 and Ruston is 35. You nailed it, buddy.
if only.
You are now my favorite person who watches our show. Yes, you are 100% correct. Ricky can confirm those are our exact ages.
I have a 16-year-old daughter, so if I'm 35, I had her when I was 19.
If he's still watching, I think he is. He can confirm those are our exact ages. John said, I hated to see. Ricky said, Ruston is 55.
That's closer to the truth.
That's pretty good. Jonathan said, I hated to see Ben Joyce get hurt and is out for the season. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Last week.
I didn't know that. Rhonda said nothing to do with baseball, but do you think Connect stays with the Lakers? I don't. If they're already shopping him around last season, they're going to find somebody for him in the offseason. All right, so we got a runner on first, nobody out. Bottom of the sixth. Tennessee still has a 1-run lead. There's that change up. In for a strike, 0-1 count. Let's see. I Bleed Orange said, can we see Ruston on the golf course with you? That's what I'm talking about.
Depends on the day of the week.
Hey, Rob and Tom at the Little Walk Club have already said they want to do another break the course record video with both of us because they were like, we were only missed about one shot, and so
I'm not sure how I'm going to help make that better.
I mean, at least some putts, like
that's
at least something, so
yeah.
I mean,
what's
neither
weird
one of
is, so on Ben Joyce, he had shoulder surgery, but they're not saying what it was on. Like they're not saying if it was his rotator cuff or his labrum. They just keep saying shoulder.
Ricky said no chance Connect stays with the Lakers. He said him and Reeves being shipped for a third star.
And that would be great for him because he was the most, in my opinion, the most underutilized guy in the NBA this year. Like on the nights when other people were resting, he was scoring 30. And then on the nights when those guys were back, they rarely played him. It was just bizarre.
Like you said already, Evan is better than these announcers. Well, I appreciate that very much because I feel like I'm doing a terrible job talking about what we're watching on the TV. So I appreciate that. Bobby said Lanier is standing out in the NBA Combine. He sure is. He's turning a lot of heads. I think they said he had the highest stationary vertical of any player there. I was like, holy cow.
They do all these scripted shooting drills, at speed, moving, lots of different things, and they chart it all and they rank them. And at the end of the day yesterday, he and Walter Clayton Jr. were tied for the two best shooters at the Combine.
I'm gonna go find that real quick here on the Twitter. Here it is. I knew Tennessee basketball had done that. All right, so this is what was reported on ESPN.com about Chaz Lanier. We knew Lanier would look like one of the best shooters entering the combine, and that carried over Tuesday. He has been one of the premier perimeter shot makers in college basketball over the past 2 seasons, making 44% of his threes in 2023-24 at North Florida and 39.5% last season at Tennessee. He finished in the top five in all 3-point shooting drills at the combine, and his touch and agility also caught the eyes of scouts. He had the 5th fastest time in the pro lane agility drill, the 3rd highest. Oh, I thought it was the highest. The 3rd highest no step vertical leap, and the 4th highest max vertical leap. That's awesome. That's really good. Me, like you said, go swag. Absolutely. Swaggy Chaz.
That's what they used to say about me too.
Yeah. Let's see here. I believe Orange said, what is your guys' thoughts about Jordan Beck? Have you guys watched him? Man, I'm loving. He's tearing it up right now. He's one of the only bright spots on the Rockies roster right now. He had like 5 home runs in 3 days earlier this season. Yeah. I mean,
he's cooled off a little bit. He's I was just pulling up his numbers. He's hitting 257 with 8 home runs so far this year. But yeah, he's done a good job. It was interesting to have him hitting leadoff for a while. They bumped him back to the 3-hole. When he was hitting leadoff, that was a unique decision. I did not see that coming.
Or no, it was 3 home runs in 2 days. That's what it was. Yeah, he hit 3 home runs in 2 days earlier this season. I mean, that's awesome. Jonathan said, if y'all break the course record and you make at least 1 putt, Ruston, you can say you contributed. That's exactly right. Yes.
If it's a good day, I can usually contribute something. I can make a few putts. I can get, not with those 2, but I could probably give an iron that helps somewhere in the middle.
Well, that's the thing.
Every once in a while, chip something that'll be positive. But
I mean, that's reality is with Rob and Tom out there. Neither one of us even need to drive off the tee. I mean, like, we're going to take theirs every time. So really we can just like sit in the cart until we get to the second shot. Okay, now it's our turn. So one funny story, Tom's dad, who still lives in England, called Tom and told him he had watched the video and he loved it. And he said, y'all need to do that again. Give me something to watch. Elijah said, I thought Mark Sears was far and away the highest percent on shooting drills.
On certain ones, but they chart everything they do, and they have like a hierarchy grid where they rank them and they give this composite score for every player. And at the end of yesterday, Walter Clayton Jr. and Chaz Lanier were tied for best overall shooter.
I believe Orange said Connect got no playing time in the playoffs. Why was that? He can easily drop 10 to 15 a night. I don't know, man. Probably defense, Ricky. That's what Ricky was talking about earlier, is defense.
The Lakers don't play defense.
Nobody in the NBA plays.
In the postseason, they do, except the Lakers. The Lakers never play defense.
Rhonda said, would love to see some Tennessee players on the Braves one day. Absolutely. Me too. Jonathan said the Braves are usually like the Titans and refuse to draft balls for some reason. Well, hopefully that's going to be changing now. Great strikeout by A.J. Russell there.
What in the world could that kid possibly be arguing?
Yeah, I don't know. Hitter wasn't happy with the call.
But the ball was. It wasn't even borderline. The ball was on the inner third. It wasn't even on the edge.
Yeah, for sure. So Tennessee has a 4-3 lead going into the top of the 7th here. Or was that the 7th? I can't remember.
I didn't notice.
Let's see. John said, do y'all think we go after Boogie Fland after he withdrew from the draft?
The problem there is we only have one scholarship left, and if Jordan Gainey gets eligible, he's probably getting it.
Bobby said, "Do you think Lanier will be a lottery pick?" No, I do not.
No, he probably played himself into the draft. He didn't necessarily play himself up in the draft.
I'd say you're looking at probably the second round for Chaz Lanier. Rhonda said we need some runs. Absolutely. Got to get some run support here.
That was just the bottom of the sixth, so this is the top of the seventh coming up.
Okay, cool. I should have gone with my gut instinct there. I believe Orange said Ronald Acuna Jr. is going crazy in the rehab games. Yeah, it'd be good to see him get back out there. Well, you want to watch the top half of this inning and then call it a night?
Sure.
See what the baseballs do here at the plate. Ricky said we'll need a good summer to make a roster. Talking about Chaz. Yeah, he will. His shooting ability is going to get him drafted, but he's going to have to really shoot the ball well to make a roster in the NBA and especially contribute. So Tennessee enters the top of the seventh with a 4-3 lead. Got Andrew Fisher coming to the plate here. So the meat of Tennessee's order back coming up to the plate. It'd be nice if Andrew or Hunter can get on and then Dalton Bargo stay hot and drive one of them in. That'd be good.
This kid throws a 12-6 curveball, so it's going to be hard to hit a curveball for a home run. He really needs to run into a fastball if he's going to hit one out of here. That was a changeup.
I believe Orange said that Rick Barnes, the job he's done in the transfer portal is insane. He's definitely found some good players in the portal over the last 2 years. Rhonda said, Evan, I'm superstitious. That wasn't a strike. That ball crossed at his chest. I don't know about that. Rhonda said, Evan, I'm superstitious. We've been doing well because we've been on the show, so you know what we need to do. That's really tough in baseball season. That's like a 4-night-a-week thing. I don't know if my family will jive with me doing that.
There's a fastball.
So that means Fisher is now 2 for 3 on the evening, I believe. Elijah said a little single there. Yep. Andrew Fisher, for those who may not be watching live, Andrew Fisher hits a ball in the right center field gap over the second baseman's head for a single.
It's a good swing.
2 for 4 on the evening now. I believe Orange said he is ready for football season. Yeah, man, it's the best. It's the best.
Opener's going to be a nationally televised game.
Yep. Noon game. We found that out this past week. It's going to be a noon kickoff. Is it the 30th? Yeah, August the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda said, my son said LSU just lost. So I noticed that the LSU South Carolina game was on as well. So apparently that one's just gone final and LSU lost. Throwing error prevented a double play there. Hunter grounded what should have been a double play to the shortstop, but the second baseman overthrew the first baseman on the turn there, and good play by the first baseman to catch it without the ball getting all the way to the Tennessee dugout, or actually the Arkansas dugout. So we got runners on first with 1 out. Dalton Bargo at the plate. So we got a good matchup here. Right-handed hitter, left-handed hitter, or right-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter. Let's see if Tennessee can capitalize on it. Okay. So Dalton squared around like he was going to bunt, but he was just protecting the Hunter Inslee, who was stealing on the pitch. Hunter stole the base, so now we have runner on second, 1-0 count.
Big fan of the
John just
fake
said we
bunt
got
and
lucky on
steal.
that one.
I don't know why more people don't use that. Forces the catcher to stay back.
2-0 count for Dalton Bargo. So you got a hitter's count here. Hunter Inslee on second. 1 out. Let's see. I believe Orange said, who's the greatest baseball player Tony Vitello has had at Tennessee? Whew, that's a good question. Who would you pick, Ruston?
At Tennessee or full career?
At Tennessee.
Dalton
Bargo
Bargo
may have
has
just gone
left the yard.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. 2-run home run by Dalton Bargo over the right field wall. Turned on a curveball. It was a good pitch, too. He just hit it. He just hit it. And that was a great, great swing. Rhonda, yes, it is the same pitcher who finished the inning last inning. Carl said gone. Ricky said Yahtzee.
He's now
Elijah
he's
said
now
bomb.
over 40 pitches as well. So, he's done for the weekend most likely.
Yeah.
So they've just burned their best reliever. No, that wasn't a good pitch. He hung that thing. That was a 12-6 curveball that hung. That screamed, hit me a long way.
I believe Orange said boom. Robert said home run. John said home run. Steve gave the Go Vols baby emoji. That's what I'm talking about. If you're on YouTube, you can see that emoji.
Dalton Bargo has 3 of our 6 runs.
Yep. I believe Orange said he's going to take Christian Moore as the best player under Tony Vitello. He was in one of the 2 I was thinking of. Rhonda said, see, Evan, y'all good luck.
I mean, if we're talking total career.
John said Bargo is on fire. Yep.
I mean, if we're talking total career, you've got to go with Garrett Crochet. I mean, the guy's one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Elijah just asked, was Garrett Crochet under Tony Vitello?
Yep.
He's certainly done more in Major League Baseball than even what he did at Tennessee.
Right. If we're talking just Tennessee career, I would either go with Christian Moore or Jared Dickey.
So I was thinking Christian Moore or Chase Dolander. And now Chase has made his Major League debut as well. Jonathan said, that's who I was thinking, Ruston. Yep. Garrett Crochet. It's good that we can say those kinds of things now, right? like there's players that we can pick from that.
Well, not only that, I mean, just look around Major League Baseball. I mean, you got Jordan Beck, Garrett Crochet, Chase Dolander, Blade Tidwell, Ben Joyce before he got injured, Trey Lipscomb, Drew Gilbert. I mean, they're just, some of them are bouncing back between the majors and AAA, but they're up there, and they're going to be up there for a while. Christian Moore, it's only a matter of time before he's a major league starter.
Did Dean Curley just hit one?
Dean, get out, ball.
He sure did. Back-to-back home runs. Back-to-back home runs. Carl just said, gone again. That's right. Ricky said, Yahtzee again. Elijah said, another bomb. Absolutely. That was a line drive, too. That was a well-hit ball. Robert said, another home run. Absolutely. That was a shot.
Yeah, he got every bit of that. Actually, he didn't. He never got his hands extended. Holy cow.
He crushed that ball. Got the barrel to it.
It was only the barrel. Like, he crushed that, and his hands never extended. That thing could have gone a lot farther.
I believe Orange said Tony V has got his boys ready this series. So that gives Tennessee a 4-run lead now. It's 7-3, top of the 7th.
They're not gonna burn anybody else. They're gonna leave this dude out there to be a sacrificial lamb.
Yep. Steve did the goat emoji. That's what I'm talking about, and the Go Vols baby emoji. So if you want to know what those look like, here's the Go Vols baby emoji, and there's the goat emoji with a 22 for Coach Vitella. We got a hat that looks really good with that on there at thevolbros.com/shop. Reese Chapman up to bat now. Check swing on the first one went around. So
Reese
0-1 count.
Reese got antsy. He saw two guys hit back-to-back bombs, and he was going after that first pitch.
Jonathan said, gone again. We're rolling. These are the people. I don't mind us hitting it right too. Bobby said, bang, bang, boom. Yep. I believe Orange said, do you guys remember Todd Helton? I wasn't born yet. Yep. Definitely remember Todd Helton.
Oh, my word.
He's he is the best baseball player in Tennessee baseball history. It was fun watching him play.
And probably, arguably, the second best, definitely in the top 3, is currently commentating on this game.
Chris Burke.
Yep.
That's actually Todd Helton's photo right there behind me over my shoulder there. I believe Orange said, Ruston, did you see where Tennessee offered Philip Fulmer's grandson in football?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Robert Peace's son. He's following in Dad's footsteps.
Reese's battle back 2-2 count, now a 3-2 count. Still 1 out. Top of the 7th, Tennessee up 7-3. So it's good at bat to be down 0-2 and battle back to 3-2. And he just walked.
Yep. Really good at bat. Yeah. Fulmer's grandson has quite the gene pool. You know, Dad was a starting SEC linebacker who had 20 tackles in one game against Alabama. And Granddad's one of the best offensive linemen in UT history. Pretty decent gene pool.
Absolutely. Looks like Arkansas is going to make a pitching change now. Yep, they sure are. Speaking of uniforms, I do like how Arkansas has the SEC patch on the sleeve instead of the front of the jersey. I do like that.
Yep. Everybody should be required to do that. It doesn't work on the front of those jerseys. It takes up too much real estate. I Bleed Orange asked, if Fulmer never would have taken over, do we think Johnny Majors could have had the same results? I think so. It's, you know, Coach Majors won everywhere he went. So I think he absolutely could have righted the ship and kept winning at a high level.
I wonder what the people in the announcer's booth are talking about right now during this commercial break. Or if they got snacks. I wonder if they're eating snacks right now. We should have snacks. We should have done that.
Hey, knowing Chris Burke and Kyle Peterson, they're discussing where they're having dinner. They're both foodies. They love being out on college towns to find the best restaurants.
I believe Orange said I was looking at the top 3 recruiting rankings for the late 90s, early 2000s. Tennessee was always in the top 3. Yep. Jimmy's and Joe's, baby. Jimmy's and Joe's. He said, I wonder if Jonathan said, I wonder if colleges will start doing like professional soccer and selling sponsors for jerseys. You know, it's coming.
Yeah. It's the
I hate to
next
say it.
next phase of NIL.
Bingo. Exactly. I hate to say it, but that's what's coming.
I mean, Oklahoma State already has QR codes on their helmets, so you can make tips to their players during games. So it's only a matter
I
of
didn't
time.
know that.
Yeah. On the back of Oklahoma State's helmets, there's QR codes. So if you're watching the game on TV and a guy makes a good play, you can pause the TV, zoom in on his helmet, make a tip.
Golly, Bo. But I believe Orange said, isn't that illegal? You would think.
Apparently not, because Oklahoma State did it all season.
I mean, like you said, money, tips, or advice. That's a good one. I like that.
Financial incentives.
So Ricky just said, so I got to give some background before I put Ricky's comment up here. It was the Ooltewah Club and somebody else. Who was the other people, Ricky? Ricky, we were at work the other day and somebody was talking to me about eating somewhere or going somewhere or something. And Ricky said, well, he's in bed with the Ooltewah Club. I was like, what in the world? I said, they're our sponsor, yes. And then there was some like Top Golf, like we were going to Top Golf. And he goes, well, he's in bed with Top Golf too. And I'm like, what in the world? And he said, you need to get in bed with a snack company so we can have snacks on our show. Let's see. Who was the other? Who was it, Ricky? It wasn't Top Golf. It was somebody else. Who was it? Help me remember. Jonathan said, I thought the NCAA didn't allow Oklahoma State to do that.
They made them wait on it, but by I think game 3 or game 4, they couldn't find a reason not to do it, and so they let them put them on, and they had them for the majority of the season.
The Wild Wild West.
Which, it's only a matter of time before everybody has QR codes on their sleeves. Make it easier to spot.
Oh, yeah, it was Oak and Twine. That's what he said. Side note, Oak and Twine, great place to get your stuff. They made the Chattanooga Best of the Best ballot. Excited for them. Ooltewah Club made the Chattanooga Best of the Best ballot for best golf course. So we'd love for you to vote for them. Love for you to vote for Oak and Twine for best gift store. Best local e-commerce store, Oak and Twine got it. I believe Orange said they're asking for money for going 3-9. I will say this. Well, what was I going to say? We were just talking about it. It was best of the best.
Oak and Twine.
Ricky, good grief. Yeah, it was Oak and Twine, the Ooltewah Club, best of the best. Oh, I remember. It was Chattanooga. Shout out to Steven Yeager. Currently, I think in second place in the PGA Championship. He is a fellow Chattanooga Mock. So super excited for him. Excited for you from right here in Chattanooga. I mean, he was originally from Germany, but then he moved here. So I'm going to say he's from here. I believe Orange said, how far is the Ooltewah Club from the Volkswagen exit? So yeah, Ruston just said next exit up on I-75 North. That's exactly right. Exit 11 is where you get off for the Ooltewah Club.
Ole Miss
Rhonda
just
said
beat
Vandy
Auburn
just
9-2.
Kentucky. Ole Miss beat Auburn
9-2.
Man, wild weekend in the season here. South Carolina beats LSU. Ole Miss beats Auburn. Vandy beats Kentucky. Levi Clark at the plate with a 2-2 count. Reese Chapman on first base with 2 outs. Let's see what Levi can do here with a 2-2 pitch. Wild pitch in the dirt is going to advance Reese Chapman to second. So now it's 3-2, 2 outs, runner on second, Levi Clark at the plate. So base hit scores a run.
Reese rocking the scum stash. Somebody needs to help him understand that that is probably the least attractive facial hair a person can humanly go with.
Like you said, congratulations on the recall, Evan. I usually have to go back to the room I came from before that happens. Impressive. Thank you. And unfortunately, it's becoming harder and harder for me. So I appreciate that comment.
Levi Clark walks.
Ricky said Levi Clark needs to learn to play catcher. So he is a catcher.
He is a catcher.
But they like Cannon's leadership and defensive ability.
Next year, it'll be him and Stone Lawless. They'll rotate. They'll platoon behind the plate.
You got to give it to Arkansas. They got a beautiful stadium. It's very nice.
And I wouldn't be surprised at all if they teach Stone and Levi how to play first base. And they'll either rotate between catcher and first or catcher and DH, because they'll have both of those bats in the lineup next year.
I believe so. What's your expectation for Tennessee basketball this year? I don't expect a big drop off. I think the verdict's still out on that one. I'll be curious to see what ends up happening to that last scholarship spot.
Yeah.
If that last
spot is Jordan Gainey, then we're going to be pretty good.
I'll be curious to talk to Chris Dortch after he gets to see him practice some and see what he thinks about him. That was a fun interview we had this year. Poor swing there. Poor swing from Manny Marin.
That was a pretty stinking nasty pitch. I think
sure.
Manny just got fooled.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that thing exploded off the table.
Jonathan said, I would like to score 6 more runs here and just end it after this inning, but as long as we win, I'll be happy. Oh, yeah, buddy. I believe Orange said, so what are we waiting on Gainey for?
We're not waiting on him. We're waiting on the court. The courts still haven't ruled on that eligibility case.
Ricky said, now sponsoring the Vol Bros, Baumwalker Stadium. I mean, it's a gorgeous place, man. I'm just being objective. Beautiful facility. We'll get there with ours too. We'll get there. All right. So we got a full count. Runners on first and second with 2 outs, so the runners will be moving on the pitch.
Reese did a good job. Reese did a good job getting in the pitcher's sight line there. He probably forced that dirt ball. Get out of play.
Nope. Dadgummit. Well, so Manny Marin pops up in foul territory to the first base side to end the inning. I believe Orange said that background, Evan, is really nice. I appreciate that. I like it even better when I'm able to turn the lights on. Now it's really cooking back there. Unfortunately,
what about my Holiday Inn bedpost?
Jonathan said, what rankings do they go by in baseball? Well, there's like 40 of them, but the one that is most commonly used is D1 baseball.
But that's baseball and softball are the only sports where they actually do put more emphasis on strength of schedule, RPI, and record versus top 25. They don't pay as much. They don't pay as much attention to the rankings.
I believe Orange said Ruston lives in a hotel.
Kind of tonight.
Are you in Chicago? Is that where you are?
Yeah.
So he's traveling for work right now, so he's getting to join us from Chicago.
I wasn't supposed to be on tonight. I was supposed to be on a plane right now, and the plane was coming from Syracuse, New York, and Syracuse had massive storms, which ended up being in Chicago also. But the planes, they shut down the Syracuse airport. So my flight got canceled, and I got to find a Holiday Inn to stay in for the night until my new flight in the morning.
So what time do you fly out in the morning?
8 a.m.
Is it direct from Chicago to Chattanooga? That's
Yep.
good. That's good.
Well, it kind of is. First time I've ever flown United. Unless I have to come back to Chicago, it will be the last time I ever fly United.
United, not a sponsor. That's for you, Ricky. That's for you.
United is a very small step up from Spirit and Allegiant. I think the only difference is we have real pilots on United, whereas Spirit and Allegiant lets anybody walking through the hallway throw on a jacket and a hat. And I'm like, hey, take a shot.
fans.
Yeah. I get on the plane to come here. It's a 2-hour flight. You know, on Delta, if it's a 2-hour flight, you're either going to have in-flight Wi-Fi to download their entertainment, or you're going to have TV screens in the seat backs. On American 2-hour flight, you're going to have access to their in-flight entertainment. You download it on your phone and you can watch stuff. United, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. Like, here's your plane. Get to Chicago. Enjoy your 2 hours of nothing.
Bobby said we'll be in the Final Four for sure. Man, you're more bold than me, Bobby. I'd love it if you're right. I would love it. It's hard to guarantee that right now. Let's see here. Rhonda said, which sport is harder to win a natty? Man, that's tough. That's a good question.
Golf.
Yeah, for real. I mean, baseball, you got to figure baseball's tough because you're in a series with 8 other teams. And you have to have so many things bounce right for you. That's tough. And then again, you know, you can make a case for football because whoever has the most money is going to win, essentially. And then, but then that you can say, well, that makes it easy. You just get the most money. But how do you get that money? Well, you make a deal with Adidas. I don't know. Let's see.
It's probably football or basketball. Any single elimination sport is going to be the hardest because you have one bad day, your season's over.
Jonathan said you don't have colorful blinds to grace the screen with tonight, Rust. Tim, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said Lady Vols need to take care of business this weekend. Got to get those bats going. So the Lady Vols first game is tomorrow. They are what Tim's talking about. They're hosting the Knoxville Regional in the softball tournament this weekend. They start tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon. They have a very tough region. They have a very tough regional. So they are going to have to play very, very well to win this regional. Nolan, welcome, buddy. He said, if we sweep this weekend, we will get in, or does it really matter? So we're in no matter what in the baseball tournament. What we're trying to do now is host a regional. We're currently on the outside looking in, but you got to be in the top 16 seeds. Right now, we're ranked 17th. So hopefully we can, bump up a couple spots. Would love for that to happen. I think we'll host a regional personally. I think hosting a super regional, being one of the top 8 seeds, I think that's kind of out of the question at this point, but crazier things have happened. Like you said, Holiday Inn could be a sponsor. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Elijah said it's got to be either baseball or basketball for hardest to win. Nolan said Ruston and Pierce, sponsored by Motel 8. We'll leave the light on for you. Oh, gosh. I Bleed Orange said, how would you consider your golf skills, Evan? Average or intermediate? Terrible. Is that an option? Confused for a beginner. Is that an option? Maybe that's an option. I don't know. I'm not good, which frustrates me because I'm very competitive. And so I don't know if anybody saw the video that Grant Horvat did. His Grant Horvat, Phil Mickelson versus John Rahm and Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. It was hilarious. Josh Allen, my favorite line of the whole thing was Josh Allen was playing really well and like shocking Phil and Grant how well he was playing. And Grant said, Josh, what's going on, man? How did this happen? He goes, I got tired of being bad, Grant. That's what happened. He's like, I got tired of being bad, so I wanted to be good. And I was like, that's me, man. Like, I told my wife the other day, I was like, I just don't want to be terrible at golf anymore. Like, I want to be better. And so I'm practicing, trying my hardest. I was playing the other day and it was so frustrating. It was just up and down, up and down, up and down. I got a par of the first hole, triple bogey the second hole, par of the third hole. A couple days I was out there, just one bad shot here and there on the first couple holes, then I par the fourth hole, par the third hole, par the fourth hole, double bogey. It's just up and down, up and down. So I just got to get more consistent in striking the ball. Carl said, this segment brought to you by Holiday Inn. Absolutely. John said, do you think they'll let Russell pitch for a while tonight and save everyone? 100%. I think they're riding until they can't. Personally,
we're 7 outs away from a win. You're at this point in the game, you're going hitter to hitter, and you're watching and going, okay, the last dude barreled a ball. Hitting's contagious. You don't want this to go downhill quick. If one more person barrels a ball, they need to take him out, and change up the momentum.
Here's why they might take him out. And this is why I'm probably going to change my answer. His pitch count is now at 38. They have not let him go more than 40 to 50 pitches tops the whole season. So if he gets out of this inning on this pitch, he probably comes back next inning for a few pitches. But if this inning lasts about another 5 to 7 pitches, he may not come back in the next inning.
That's another barreled ball. They got to get him out right now. Don't let him go another hitter. You got 2 outs, change the momentum, bring in Michael Sharman, somebody different, somebody gives a totally different look, and get a quick out and get out of this.
I love what Nolan just said. He said, Evan Pierce, sponsored by Team U LED light bars. I never leave the light on because I don't want my house to burn down. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Elijah said, yeah, I would describe my game as whatever is below average. Ricky said, you need to get a lighting company to sponsor Ruston. He's in a hotel, Ricky. Ricky is out for blood tonight, man. He's in a hotel.
At 8:00, we didn't have power in the hotel, so any light is an improvement.
John said, I like that one, Nolan. I've been trying to get a GoFundMe to get him new lights. I believe Orange said, I'm proud of the boys tonight. Absolutely. They're doing well. He said, but you got to take AJ Russell out now. Elijah said the same thing. Got to take him out now. John said, my golf skills is I think a 4-year-old could beat me most days, and a good day for me, I might beat a 6 or 7-year-old. Me too, man. I believe Orange said, can you hoop, Evan? Hey, buddy, that's what I'm talking about. Back in my day.
I do not like this decision.
So I could shoot a little bit back in the day. I ran point in high school. Had good court vision, ran the team well. Couldn't play defense hardly at all because I'm not very quick. But I loved it when we played zone. I'll put it that way. But yeah, a little bit back in the day.
Put him on. Don't get him a fastball. Get the
Nolan
force.
said that's half the reason I subscribed was to help throw some money to Evan for a new lighting system. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Very, very much. That was a good pitch. Good 2-0 curveball right
Holy
there.
cow.
Wait, he called that a ball? Yeah, AJ Russell shocked too. I think he just fooled the umpire. That
What
was a
on
heck of a
earth?
pitch. He was right over the middle of the plate. All right, they're going to take him out now with bases loaded. Ricky said he's going to walk him and then pull him. Yeah, I mean they're not gonna let him throw the next hitter. Yeah, Tim, I agree with you, buddy. He said, "Where was that pitch?" I agree, man. I totally agree. Robert said, "Bases loaded." Yep. Yeah, I'm sure Tony's walking out there now.
He is. He played a little gamesmanship. He let the hitter get in the box and get settled, and then he walked out.
Jonathan said, "Can we still subscribe through tomorrow to get the 25% off?" Absolutely. So, if you join our channel, they're bringing in, is that Tanner Franklin?
Yeah.
Like Tanner Franklin. So Jonathan said, "Can we still join?" Yeah. So you can join our channel by tomorrow, and you'll get a 25% off discount code to our website, our merch store. We had somebody join earlier today, or actually it was a couple days ago, and I noticed it today. It was, let me pull that up real quick because I sent them the discount code today, actually. So we got a pitching change. Tanner Franklin coming in for AJ Russell. Dale Conklin. Dale, thank you for joining us today, buddy. So Dale, or 2 days ago, actually, Dale joined 2 days ago. And on YouTube, I've made a post, a members only post that Dale could see with his discount code for 25% off. So if you join by tomorrow's the last day, but if you join by tomorrow, you get a 25% off discount code to our merch store. And earlier, Jonathan said Ruston looks thrilled with Franklin coming in.
I just don't get it. I mean, I hope he's successful, but he's basically the same player as AJ Russell. I mean, you're not changing the arm angle. You're not changing the type of pitching. Tanner Franklin's flies open, so that probably counts for something. Like, I just don't know why you go with these two back to back. You got all these options in the bullpen. Show them something different.
So the that goat emoji in the top left corner, if you didn't know this, we actually have that on a hat, dark mode and smoky gray, on our website right now, thevolbros.com/shop. And we have a new hat coming out in the next week or so. Y'all gonna love it. I love it. I'm super pumped about it. We got another one coming.
Did they explain at the beginning of the game why they have beer mugs on their heads?
I'm sure they have, but I haven't heard it. But they like them some beer mug hats apparently in Fayetteville.
They only put it on when there's bases loaded.
Robin said she's got her fingers crossed here. So Tanner Franklin on the mound now, 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 7th. Tennessee up 7-3. Elijah said, "I don't like the feeling of this inning right now. It feels like something big is about to happen."
Yep.
Hopefully that something big is Tanner Franklin strikes this dude out. That's the hope.
If he does, they all need to unzip their flies for the rest of the game.
Jonathan said the fly being open is for extra power and to distract the hitters. Hey, there's that dancing guy. He's back on the screen now. 20 seconds of fame. I'm sure that's probably his 3rd or 4th at least there.
This inning.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Slider at 91. That's pretty tough.
So Tanner gets out front 0-1 here on the hitter.
Not only is his fly open, it's forcing his waistband down, and the buttons of his pants are beneath his belt. So his belt's literally attached to nothing right now. It's like snapping up against his stomach. Like
Oh no. Oh no.
It's down. It's down.
Right
it's
at
down.
him. Woo! And you can hear the collective exhale from all nation as yeah, Elijah said, "Oh my." Yeah. That was my reaction too. Whew. Elijah said, "Too close for comfort." Absolutely. Tennessee gets out of it unscathed, 7-3 still. Mina Laggy said that was unfortunate for them. Absolutely. Volcano. Well, hey, that's a name. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, Volcano. He said, "Do you think Tennessee can get to Ohio State level with Nike?"
Nope.
I would echo Ruston's head shaking sentiments. No.
Because Ohio State, first of all, nobody's going to get to Oregon's level. Secondly, Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia all have football national championships under their belt recently, and that's going to keep them at a tier way above everybody else.
Bingo. The only way to get caught up with them on the field is to have more talent. The only way to get more talent is to have more money. If Adidas is offering you $10 million more per year, there's the more money. I mean, that's just the way it is. Elijah said the rich get richer. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Jonathan said that scared me off the bat. I thought it was gone when it left the bat. I did too, man. I did too. That was a well hit ball. Tim said, "Thank you." Me, that's what I was thinking too, buddy. And Elijah said we finally got the good side of one of the hard hit balls right to someone. You're exactly right. Rhonda said Evan made me about croak. Volcano said, "Do you think they could get to that level with Adidas?"
If Adidas is willing to pay what they're saying they're willing to pay, yes, because that's all it comes down to. You know, all we talked about last year was how good Ohio State was and how much money they spent. Rumor is Texas has already spent about $5 million more than Ohio State did last year, which means they're approaching $30 million for their roster. You can't compete with that.
So last year, depending on who you talk to, Tennessee was at 12 to 14 million on NIL. Ohio State was at 24 to 25. Well, the only way to compete with that is to get more money. If Adidas is offering us $10 million more, then that makes up. If you go from 14 to 24, all of a sudden now you've made up that difference with Ohio State. Now you can compete with them on NIL money.
Look how many Arkansas fans just headed to the parking lot.
Yep, it sure did. You're right. Volcano said Nike's ripping Tennessee off. Yeah, they are. 100%. Our deal with Nike is terrible compared to other universities.
Yeah.
Mina, like he said, who has the fly problem asking for a friend? That would have been Tanner Franklin on the mound.
I don't know that I would say that Nike is ripping Tennessee off. I think they're like any business. They have to pick and choose. Like they don't have just surplus money for everybody. And, you know, they've also got to take into account the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA. Like there's only so much money they can spend for endorsement deals. So they're gonna pick and choose the teams that are on TV the most, winning championships.
So now little pitch comm communication errors were malfunctioning going on with the catcher's pitch comm for Arkansas. So Tennessee up 7-3, top of the 8th, 1-0 count on Gavin Keelan, who's at the plate. Ruston, I think I'm going to call it a night here, and hope you have a good flight in the morning. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Remember, tomorrow is the last day to join our channel and get that 25% off discount. So I'll make another post about that in the morning just to remind everybody. Rhonda said, y'all have a good rest of the week. Got to get some sleep. Hey, that's exactly right. Elijah Nightman, he said, night bros. Rustin, I'm glad it worked out that you could join us. That was good. Stay safe tomorrow. Elijah said, great show as always. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Gavin Keelan is now down 1-2 in the count. Hope everybody has a great evening. Look forward to seeing everybody Sunday night. If you are a Watch Party fan member, we will have our first members only live stream that you can join us on screen at 8 o'clock Sunday night. So we hope you join us there. Minolaki said, thanks, guys. Hey, we appreciate you, Minolaki. Jonathan said, good night, everybody. Have a great night. Can't wait to see everyone Sunday. Great show as always. Appreciate that, Jonathan. Thank you so much, man. Nolan said, see y'all Sunday night. Hey, I appreciate that, Nolan. I'll see you then, buddy. Tim said, thanks. Have a great night. Good to see you, Tim. Glad you're with us. Hope everybody has a great evening. Go Vols, baby. And we will see you all very, very soon.